The notion of untouchable celebrities, once idolized and revered, is slowly eroding. With the rise of social media, heightened public awareness, and a growing demand for accountability, many famous personalities are facing consequences for their actions that were once overlooked. While fame and fortune might shield individuals for a time, the reality of justice is starting to catch up, and these are the celebrities who could spend the rest of their lives behind bars due to their reprehensible actions. Harvey Weinstein, the fall of a Hollywood mogul. Harvey Weinstein was once one of Hollywood's most powerful figures, known for producing critically acclaimed films. However, his career crumbled when multiple allegations of sexual assault and harassment surfaced, leading to the rise of the #MeToo movement. Weinstein used his position in the industry to manipulate and assault women, many of whom were vulnerable newcomers looking for their big break. After a lengthy trial and several women coming forward with similar stories, Weinstein was convicted of multiple charges, including rape. In New York, he received a 23-year sentence, and in Los Angeles, another 16 years were added. Weinstein remains in prison, serving his 16-year sentence while battling chronic myeloid leukemia. It's likely he will die behind bars, a stark contrast to the power he once wielded over Hollywood. R. Kelly, the fall of the king of R&B. R. Kelly's fall from grace is as shocking as it is tragic. Once hailed as one of the most influential figures in R&B music, Kelly's legacy is now forever tainted by his history of sexual abuse. Accusations against Kelly started years ago, especially regarding his relationship with the late Aaliyah when she was just 15. However, it wasn't until 2019 that the full scale of his crimes was revealed, leading to charges of racketeering, child sexual abuse, sex trafficking, and child pornography. After being convicted in both Chicago and New York, Kelly received a combined sentence of 31 years. Despite attempts to appeal, Kelly's fate seems sealed, and he will not be eligible for parole until he is 80. The music world may never recover from the stain Kelly has left on its history. Danny Masterson, from That 70s Show to prison. Danny Masterson was best known for his role as Stephen Hyde in the beloved sitcom That 70s Show. However, Masterson's off-screen life took a dark turn when allegations of sexual assault surfaced in 2017. The Church of Scientology, to which Masterson belongs, played a controversial role in his defense. Despite a mistrial in his first court appearance, the second trial resulted in a conviction on 2 counts of rape. Masterson was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. He will be eligible for parole after serving 20 years, but considering the severity of his crimes and the number of women who have come forward, it's uncertain whether he will ever leave prison. Ryan Grantham, a promising career cut short by tragedy. Ryan Grantham was once a promising young actor with roles in hit shows like Supernatural and Riverdale. His life took a tragic turn in 2020 when he murdered his mother. Grantham, who had also plotted to assassinate Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, confessed to shooting his mother in the back of the head. He was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, later pleading guilty to second-degree murder. Grantham was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 14 years. Given that he was just 24 years old at the time of his conviction, it's possible he will one day be a free man, though the gravity of his crime suggests that his future may not be so simple. Suge Knight, the violent legacy of Death Row Records. Marion Suge Knight was once a kingpin in the hip-hop world, co-founding Death Row Records and helping launch the careers of artists like Tupac Shakur and Snoop Dogg. However, his criminal history caught up with him when he was involved in a fatal hit and run in 2015. Knight pleaded no contest to charges involving the deaths of Philo Bone, Sloan, and Terry Carter, which ultimately led to a 28-year prison sentence. Because of his history of legal trouble, including previous felonies, Knight was facing life in prison for his third strike. He will be eligible for parole in 2034, but at the age of 69, the possibility of his release remains uncertain. Michael Jace, the murder of his wife. Michael Jace, best known for his role on the acclaimed TV series The Shield, saw his once promising career come to a tragic and abrupt end in 2014 when he was arrested for the murder of his wife, April. Jace's life spiraled when, in a fit of anger, he shot and killed her in front of their 2 young children. During his trial, Jace confessed to the killing, claiming it was an act of passion fueled by marital problems. However, the court found him guilty of second-degree murder, and his son's chilling testimony that Jace told him, "If you like running, then run to heaven," before pulling the trigger, was pivotal in securing the conviction. Jace was sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. Given his age and the nature of the crime, it seems unlikely that he will be granted parole anytime soon. If he is eventually released, he will be in his 90s, but for now, his tragic personal choices have sealed the fate of his career and freedom. Mel Hall, a baseball star turned pedophile. Mel Hall was a professional baseball player, known for his time with the Chicago Cubs, Cleveland Indians, and New York Yankees. However, after his retirement, he became notorious for his sexual abuse of minors. In 2009, Hall was convicted of indecency with a child and aggravated sexual assault. The abuse occurred while Hall was coaching a girls' basketball team, and he was convicted of assaulting a 12-year-old girl. Hall was sentenced to 45 years in prison, with the possibility of parole after serving 22.5 years. However, considering the nature of his crimes, it's highly likely that he will die in prison. John War Machine Copenhaver, the brutal attack on Christy Mack. John War Machine Copenhaver's brutal assault on Christy Mack and Corey Thomas in 2014 shocked the world. In a violent outburst of rage, Copenhaver severely injured Mack, leaving her with broken bones, a ruptured liver, and numerous cuts and bruises. His actions were not only a public example of extreme domestic violence, but also revealed the darker side of his volatile personality, which had been reflected in his troubled career in MMA. Despite a conviction for 29 felonies, including kidnapping and attempted murder, Copenhaver has continued to maintain that his actions were a result of Mack's infidelity. His case remains a chilling reminder of the hidden dangers that can lurk behind public personas. Corey C. Murder Miller, the murder conviction that won't go away. Corey C. Murder Miller's case has remained a topic of debate and controversy for over 2 decades. The rapper, whose music gained popularity in the late 90s, was convicted in 2002 for the shooting death of 16-year-old Steve Thomas at a Louisiana nightclub. While Miller has consistently maintained his innocence, several key witnesses in the case later recanted their testimony, citing pressure from law enforcement. Despite these recantations and ongoing legal battles, including efforts by high-profile figures like Kim Kardashian, Miller's conviction was upheld by a federal judge in 2023, and he continues to serve a life sentence. His case highlights broader concerns about the criminal justice system, with many questioning whether he received a fair trial, and it remains a high-profile example of the intersection between celebrity and the legal system. Joe Son, from MMA fighter to convicted rapist. Joe Son's case is a chilling reminder of the consequences of unchecked violence. After being convicted of rape, he continued to pose a threat in prison, leading to his involvement in the murder of his cellmate in 2011. His brutal actions behind bars reinforced the severity of his original sentence, leaving him facing a future behind bars for the rest of his life. The combination of his horrific crimes outside and inside of prison led to an extended life sentence, making parole nearly impossible. His story serves as a cautionary tale about how criminal behavior can escalate, even after an individual has been incarcerated. That's all for today's video. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Hit the bell icon so you're always updated with our latest videos. We appreciate your support. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.